If you've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh for a while, you've probably come across an opponent that cleared your field and won on their very first turn. Modern Yu-Gi-Oh is a very fast-paced game where if you let your opponent do what they want, they're going to OTK you. During the first turn of the game, what you want to do is set up interruptions. Set yourself an objective, something you know you can get to if you go uninterrupted. For example, if I play Dragon Maze, I want to end on either a Heavenly Spheres or a Shield. And if I have a hand like this, I know that I can end on both of them if I go interrupted. You can set up negates, removal, floodgates, or alternatively end on a very difficult monster to get rid of, but this is mostly an archetype specific strategy. Negations are pretty straightforward. Your opponent tries to do something and you say no. Just remember that you have to activate them immediately in response to whatever you want to negate. If you have a targeted negate, like Infinite Impermanence, that's not necessary, as you are choosing a specific card to negate. Removal can come in several forms. Destruction, sending cards to the graveyard, back to the hand, deck, banishing. The important part is that they remove a card from the field, getting rid of problematic boss monsters, materials for extra summons, or stopping their effects from being activated. It's very important that you can use these effects during your opponent's turn. A Blue Eyes alternative White Dragon will only be a wall that your opponent has to walk over, doing nothing until your next turn. You want a quick effect, or anything that specifies that you can use it during your opponent's turn. Some forms of removal are less obvious. For example, let's look at Tri-Brigade. Tri-Brigade Shrike, the Ominous Omen, has an effect where if it's summoned, or one of the Tri-types is summoned, you can banish one card on the field. This isn't a quick effect, but Tri-Brigade has a trap card, Tri-Brigade Revolt, which allows you to summon him during your opponent's turn, triggering its effect to banish. You could also use a Rugal to summon one of the Tri-types during your opponent's turn, triggering a Shrike that is already on the field. Floodgates are the strongest cards in the game, as they stop players from performing an action or lock them out of a mechanic completely, making them better than any negation or removal. Skill Rain, turning off all monster effects on the field, goes in match, making it so that players can only control one monster attribute. Rivalry of Warlords, doing the same but with monster types. Dimension Fissure, banishing any monster sent to the graveyard. Not every deck can play Floodgates, but those that can are capable of winning entire games by just flipping one card face up. As if your opponent doesn't have an out for that skill ring and their entire strategy needs those monster effects on the field, they won't be able to do anything but passing. Some archetypes have built-in floodgates, like Empen, which stops your opponent from activating effects of special summon monsters in attack position, effectively making link monsters nothing more than beatsticks. Love them or hate them, floodgates are the most effective way of stopping your opponent's plays. So look through your deck, look at those forms of interruption and focus on getting there on your very first turn. Now, what happens when you don't have those interruptions? You can take a look at generic options and add them to your deck. I'm going to go over some of the common ones. For link monsters, the most generic strategic monster type, we have Apollousa, Bow of the Goddess. A generic link for a monster which gives you one monster negate for each material you use to summon her, giving you a minimum of 2 monster negates. We also have the Masquerina Unicorn combo. IP Masquerina is a generic link 2 monster that allows you to link summon during your opponent's turn, which you can use to summon a Nightmare Unicorn, a monster that on summon lets you discard one card to target one card on the field and shuffle it into the deck. For Exceeds, we have Bakuska, a rank 4 monster which puts all face-up monsters in defense position and negates their activated effects. Abyss Dweller, a rank 4 monster that floodgates your opponent, stopping them from activating any effects in the graveyard. Zodiac Trident, another rank 4 monster that gives you a destruction on a quick effect, usually summoned by getting 2 level 4 monsters on the field and summoning a Chakanine, then using her as material for Trident. Now for Synchros, Baron the Floor gives you an Omni Negate on a generic level 10 Synchro. She also gives you 1 pop during your turn, and is a very strong option to consider if you can go into a level 10 Synchro. Herald of the Arc Light is a level 4 Synchro that banishes any monster sent from the hand or deck to the graveyard, and can be triggered to negate a spell, trap card or monster effect. So it's 1 Floodgate and 1 Omni Negate in one body. Borreload Savage Dragon is a level 8 synchro that when summoned lets you equip one link monster in your graveyard to it, gaining Borrel counters equal to its link rating. And once per turn, you can negate one card or effect by removing one of those Borrel counters. Now you can also add engines, a small group of cards that work well together and gives you access to interruptions or help you break boards, but that's a theme for another video. And that's it. Did I forget anything? Let me know in the comments.